People who are perpetually late, what's your deal? My brother is consistently several hours late. Won't call, respond to texts. Just appears without explanation, apology. I stopped making plans with him after he asked for a ride to the airport. Told me to be there at 5 a.m. and he wasn't even awake yet. Because we didn't need to leave till 8. That mofo intentionally told me to be there 3 hours early because he has poor time management skills and assumes everyone else does. It's infuriating. My ex used to set all of the clocks 10 minutes fast so she wouldn't be late for work. It didn't help. She was still always late. I'm the opposite. I'm always ridiculously early to things. 10 minutes up the street? Better leave 30-40 minutes early. Whoops. Made it in 6 minutes. Guess I'll just sit here 30 minutes. But when I'm late, it's because I don't want to be there. I have 2 family members who are always late. One is due to terrible time management. The other believes they're the main character. They believe the event won't start until they get there, so why bother rushing? I have Crohn's disease. I can sit at home all day and be fine. But the second I need to leave, I have to take a shit. Sometimes more than one. Don't feel like I'm finished. That being said, I know I have these issues, so I start trying to go 30 minutes before I have to leave. But sometimes my stomach just doesn't want to cooperate. I constantly think things will take less time than they do. I'm no longer this person. But I was for many years. It was undiagnosed depression. Just making it to the function was a success some days. Forget under some kind of condition like being on time. My job keeps letting me get away with it. Also, I hate my job. My mother was perpetually late. It was because she was a narcissist and it was her way of exerting control over others. I like sleep more than I like going to work. Poopin'. I was told there are 2 types of people who are late. The first type is someone who is optimistic about being able to have enough time to do what they have to do and just ultimately not managing their time right. The second are people who think the world revolves around them and couldn't give a second thought about other people than them. I don't get it either. I would rather be early and wait than late and someone waiting for me. I don't really want to be here. What's weird is the flakiest person I know is also the most punctual. Like you can literally set your watch to when they promise to arrive. Poor time management due to a lifetime of undiagnosed ADHD. I'm getting there, slowly. Anxiety and depression. My parents are late to everything and have been my whole life. They just wait until the last minute of when we are supposed to leave to get ready. I have no idea why. I think there is a bit of a difference between perpetually late to work in the morning by a few minutes because getting out of bed is torture, and being late to meet friends, etc. I am usually a few minutes late for work, probably averages at 7 minutes. I'm supposed to sign in at 7:15 but rarely do. When it comes to friends and stuff like that, I am more likely to be on time or early. I used to have major time blindness, poor time management. Then I was diagnosed with ADHD, and once I started managing it, no longer late. I suspect a lot of people have a similar issue. For the ones who don't, likely just rude, self-involved. I don't know, but I do know my sister was so bad we started telling her family stuff was starting an hour earlier than they actually did so she would show up on time. She caught on after a while and has been better though. I just think she was a procrastinator and just waited until the last minute to do things and would run out of time all the time. They haven't figured out what cushion time is. For a chronically late person, trying to show up an hour early generally results in them being on time. Also, in most cases they don't realize the damage and disrespect they're causing from being late. It was ADHD, but now I'm always too early because of coping mechanisms feels a lot better. I'm always early. I think people who are always late just have no concept of time. They think time stops when they pause to do something. As far as work in the morning, I have never been a morning person. I have tried every remedy and tips and tricks to try and get up on time. Nothing works. Other aspects. I am usually on time or maybe a few minutes late. I don't normally like being the first one to an event. Showing up after I know a few people have got there, then I can blend in more easily. My wife, I tried so hard to get us to things on time, but she won and I have given up the battle. EP. Multiple children. Some needs to bathroom. Someone came to the vehicle in flip-flops but it's snowing. Someone forgot a coat. Someone said they had their water bottle but forgot it. I forgot my purse because doing things for other people. It's a hot mess. 1. Getting out of bed is the single most difficult task of any given day. No matter how many alarms I set, getting up is a serious struggle. 2. I underestimate how long it takes me to get ready, and I'm overly optimistic about how quick I can be. 3. I used to show up early and stay late every day and still never got caught up. So now I'm burnt out and realize it doesn't matter when I show up. 4. I don't matter enough for my tardiness to really make a difference to anyone. To be honest, I think it is depression. I just cannot do it. I sit in bed and I want to get dressed or start putting on makeup or anything. But I cannot make myself do it. At some point I just gave up trying at all and I am late everywhere every time by 15-20 minutes. ADHD. I have very little concept of time. I think things won't take as long as they actually do and have a terrible sense of how much time has passed. I have to constantly look at a clock. It can be a cultural thing to some extent. Different cultures around the world have a different concept of on time. Time always manages to fast forward for me the second I have a deadline. Even if I leave 15 minutes early, I will be 15 minutes late anyway. I somehow always have to go to the bathroom before I leave. I will always forget something before I walk out the door. Or that 1 minute to put on my shoes somehow becomes 10. I will miss my exit sometimes or manage to be in the slowest lane or hit all the red lights. I hate it. Scanning the comments to see if my ex-wife finally figured out why she could never be on time. It got to the point where I'd tell her we needed to be somewhere about 2 hours before we really needed to. Just so we wouldn't be more than 15-20 minutes late. I be tryin'. Either I am lazy or I don't want to. I have no concept of time. My girlfriend just doesn't care. She also hits snooze 3-5 times but won't set the alarm earlier. I hate coming early. I'm always on the clock or close to. I don't like to linger either. And as a result, sometimes I'm 5 minutes late. This does not apply to airports. But I'll still come at the minimum time, which is around 1:45, 2h before departure. To steal the limelight. I've met a few people like this. And from what I can gather, I narrow it down to these few things. Just like anything else can. Being late became a habit that they fell into. And they surround themselves with people who are tolerant of the habit and tend to turn away from people who ask better of them. I'll be the first to answer with some bogus excuse of a disorder. Specifically for work, I like to leave as late as I think I can because I